Hey, you tourists, it's your boy Domination. This is Back of the Basics. Chuck of the Deuces. How we do Text Baby Man that was back. You know this. Know what it is. Know what it is. Know what it is. Only place, all the 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 place, go get it. All the place, all the place, all the place, only place, go get it. Only place, go get it. Only place, go get it. Only place, go get it is right back of basics. Chuck of the Deuces. How we do to text. How we do it to text. This is how we do it back. This is how we do it back of the base. This is how we do it at Dallas, Texas, baby. Man of Dallas back. You know what it is. You know what it is. Real man rise up, fake man rise down. Real woman rise up, fake woman rise down. Right after what I preach and preach on. The only place you ever gonna get it is right back basic. And today's topic I want to talk about is, you know what they say about America? You know, this land is your land. This land is my land. To California, to New York Island. I used to like this kind of record. I want to believe that, but part of me, I said, this is no one's else land because I feel like, what's the point? Look, man, you know, this is what bothers me. If you don't know what I'm talking about right here, I'm gonna read this to you. And Anima Kuni on the legal team in the Armenian oh, I'm sorry, I'm upset, but I Mala Kuni on the legal team in the Armenian genocide case. Instead of birth of French, and AB is the lawyer animated called I mean animated and damn, excuse me, I'm sorry, I am really pissed off right here because not just this, but it's good, but it should be for anybody who have a genocide everywhere else in this damn country. But it's funny. It's a suburb of French, and AB is the lawyer and Mal Clooney is going before the going before Europe top of civil rights court to agree against a man convicted for denying the 1915 Armenian genocide. And Goonie is argued on a approval before the and Senator Burnley, whatever you is Senator Burnley. Senator Burnley is based on European Court of Civil I mean, based on Europeans the Court of the of human rights, yeah, human rights, which is ruled in the favor of the man. Document impediment in December 2003, and Peter Nico, whatever, it's a funny name, Peter Nico, as agreed his right to freedom of speech wasn't violated when the SWAT courts convict him of denying the genocide genocide in 2005. And the history is the history is the history of estimated of about to 1.5 millions of Armenians are killed by the Ottoman Turkish around the time of the World War I, as the and made wide of a view by the genocide as scholars as the first genocide of the 20th century. And the Turkish, however, denied the deaths of the kind of genocide, says the troll has been inflated, and that is those who kill are the victims of the civil rights and unrest. This is what bothers me, man. This is what bothers me. Oh, by the way, that's George Clooney's wife. This is what bothers me, this whole thing about human rights. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna show you this. That's good for them. They got justice for what they wanted. But what But when we gonna have some justice for some communities, man? Because frankly, I don't think people don't care. If you ask me, if you honestly see, this is why they look America for what it is. And you can't blame them. First thing they gonna say, people anti-American. But ask yourself why. Cause they too busy bully people, making fun of people. If it ain't about their race and stuff like that. One thing I gotta give up the Latinos and gays. They fight for their rights. I give whites. But when black community ever gonna get rights? I'm gonna show you this. I remember I was watching a story about Atlanta murder of the. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm just pissed off, man. But I'm gonna calm down. Atlanta murder of 1979 to 81. The Atlanta murdered the children. The Atlanta child murderers known as the. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. I will read this, but I'm just so upset right now. I am. The the Atlanta child murderers known as. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Again, I'm gonna calm down. The Atlanta child murderers known as illegal is illegal legally. I mean, locally. Excuse me, people. Atlanta, the Atlanta child murderers is known locally as the missing and murdered children case, whereas the series of murders committed in the Atlanta, Georgia, United States, from the summer of 1990, I mean 1972, the spring of 1981, over the 2 years period after lease of 28 African American children as adolescents and adults are killed as 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 Atlanta native Wayne Williams, 23 years old at the time of the last murder, was arrested for and convicted of two of the adults murderers. You see that? You see that right here? Did you see that right here? Because I'm gonna say to this, man. That's good. What happened? All that, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, man. Don't get me wrong, man. Because you know, it's sad. I remember this. It's sad what happened in the killings spree of killings in July the 21, 1979 to March 12th in 1981. In the country United States in Georgia State. Here it is. In the summer of 1979, as the Eddie Ward Holt Smith, as also known as Teddy, and Albert Evening, as also known as Q. Both 14 and missing for 4 days apart. Terry P went, who went missing in 1981, living in the same apartment as Eddie Ward, and their bodies are both found on the July the 28th in a wooded area, and Eddie Ward with a 22 shotgun into his up and back, and they are believed to be the first victims of the the Atlanta child killer. The next victim in Medivit of Howard is also 14, disappeared on the September the 4th while going to back while go to a bank on a earning for his mother. At the time he was on a yellow of the tan of speeding bike, and his body was rediscovered later. There's so many victims. It's hard for me to say this. It really is. In this whole murder case that's going on, I had an issue with this because I'm gonna say to this. That's good they found that about the Armenians. That's sad what happened. But when there's so many unsolved murders in every other communities, man, it doesn't matter who race it is. But what bothers me, like this stuff right here, what bothers me in 2007, the FBI informed the DNA test on two human hairs, one on one of the victims, and measurement and the DNA and squared them into the hair was eliminated in 1990.5 of the person by not matching their DNA. The immediate of the DNA square in their hair would eliminate in 80 I mean 80 eliminate 98 of African American person by not matching their DNA. However, it matched the William DNA, and so did not even eliminate the possibility that their hair was his. So basically, in other words, they don't know if this man committed the crime or not. See, this is what bothers me. It's sad what goes on over there in France and all this other stuff, man. But for some reason, when black community died, nobody cares. It's like nobody gives a damn. That showed me right there that a lot of people been holding a lie and what they've been taught. You really can't get mad. Some people are raised like that. Some people talk. That's why I can't stand a person that's gonna hate somebody regardless their race or their ethnic group or their sexual preference. Because I don't want nothing to do with them kind of folks. Because them folks, man, they live in a matrix. They want to believe everything they've been told, and they're gonna buy into that, and they're gonna look like fools when they find out it's a lie. Just this whole Texas hate crime. This Texas hate crime. About this black guy was dragged. A black person being dragged. I'm trying to find it because I remember a black man was being dragged by a pickup truck. I don't know if they found the murder or not. I don't know if they found it, but it always bothers me. Here it is right here. Here it is. James Birdman Jr. and made two in 1949, and June the 7th, 1998, was African American who was murdered by three men, of which as at least two are white supremacists. Yeah. And just captured Texas on June the 7th, 1998. Sean Berry and Martin Russell Byrd and John King John King dragged by the bird of 3 miles behind a pickup truck and along as they parted of the road, and Bernard was or remains as a consciousness through the most of the automobile was killed when his body was hit in the edge of the mid and the several his right arm and its head. The murderers drove on the murderers drove on for the another mile before jump in his for also into the front of an African American center and captured and the bird lynching by a drag of the grave and interpreted to the passing of a Texas hate crime law. It's later to lead to the federal Murderville and the accessory pass and Jameson Bird Jr. hate crimes and preventative acts and the common as the as a you see they say the gay guy Madison Berkshire act. You see what they say this which is the pass on the on the October the 22, 2009, and which is the President Barack Obama signed into the law on the yeah Barack Obama into the law on the October 28, 2009. I'm sorry, I'm just so upset with this thing because I feel like this. You know, people died every day over stupid stuff. This is why people need to start preparing themselves out here. Because there's a lot of evil motherfuckers run around here, man, and they get away with stuff. That's why they keep doing the stuff they do, because they figure in their mind. I had some person told me ever since a little incident with the neighbor, tell me that, oh, don't call the cops. What can they do? Right in my face. That showed me where their mindset is at. This is why the laws and the people need to step up with this because it's gonna keep happening. Now it's sad what over there what that our Armenians assassin the Armenian Armenian whatever you call it, Armenian genocide case. They good they have that. I'm proud that they did. But where when we get murdered and we die and nobody says nothing, that tell me what kind of work. See, this is why I see why. I give a few people fending themselves, but see, when as soon as you fend yourself, no, let the law do that. See, you see, it goes back to this whole called Republicans because they believe if you out there commit crime, you know different they are. That's true. I give you that. You want to know why people commit crimes? Because they kill people just kill for happiness. Basically, what I'm really saying, they kill people for happiness because they're not happy. That's why they do it. So people be careful who the people you do wrong to, but still, nobody deserves to get murdered. Not white, not black, not gay, not nobody. Don't get me wrong. And that's another issue why they put that this man of assured in this whole thing because they trying to say that gays get discriminated like blacks. But I want to ask the gays, if y'all get discriminated like blacks, then why you think they hate gays? Because they can't produce kids. And I'm not saying it's their fault, but I'm gonna ask you this: there's a real reason why they hate gays, just like there's a reason why they hate blacks. They think they hate blacks because they trying to say that blacks that it's the curse of Ham. They can look at in the damn Bible. It was goddamn Noah was the one molested goddamn Cain. But they turn around and they said it was Ham. No, bull BS. They need to look at what's in the Bible and what's been said again, no matter who race it is. Some say that Canaan was killed Abel because some say that Abel was a white farmer and Cain was a black hunter. Now I don't know how true that is. We'll never know. This is why people need to be careful when they read the Bible, because I'm gonna tell you something. Bible just divide by race, about black and white. I mean, it just said over gay and straight. You always hear people say God made Adam and Eve, not Steve. You hear that all the time. You hear that all the time. And gays know this. And hey, if you gay, power to you, but be careful. If a straight guy tell you he ain't with that, you need to respect that. Because I'm telling you, that's the only way gays gonna be safe. But not to fuck with them. Hey, but some gays do go too far when they start flirting with people, knowing that people are not agree with their lifestyle. They know they not agree with it. I'm sorry, but let's call it what it is. A man can wear the pants. Women wear the dress. It don't look right for a man wear a dress. It don't look right when a woman wear a man's clothes. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. Why you think they're against interracial dating? I'll tell you why they're against it, because they're afraid they're gonna kill their race. They're gonna fail to produce of their race of people. That's why they do what they do. But still, they don't have to kill any race, anybody. If you proud about your race, be proud of it. But don't go out here and do for racial and hateful manner. Don't do that. And that goes to whites, Latinos, Asian, black, everybody. People need to be careful when they read the damn Bible. They want to play God. I want to know what God are they talking about. They talking about the God of this world. Not every Bible said that. But why you think the Father said that if you love the world, you are enemy of God? That's what it says in that Bible. But people don't give a damn. They say hell with God, even if they don't believe it. They say hell with them. You got women go to church, but women don't want to be honest about some of the actions they done. And you got the fellas don't want to be honest, but they get mad when somebody tells us the goddamn truth. Why you think Jesus Christ been killed for everybody for your damn sin? But frankly, you don't give a damn. You don't care. You rather be with Satan than rather be God. That what? But Satan and God, they're brothers anyway. People don't know that, do they? That explains why you think that Tom Hanks got a movie called Angels and Demons. I'm telling you, that stuff been going on right now. I downloaded a video game on my computer. It was a game called The Devil May Cry by Dante. It was based on a book, a European philosopher book. I forgot what's about. It goes back to the Knight Templars. Ku Klux Klan ain't nothing but the damn Knight Templars any goddamn way. Look at their goddamn symbols. That explains about the damn SWAT. That explains it. Their symbol. Next thing you know, they're gonna say about Black Panthers, they all the way from South Africa. That's a Jaguar. Wow. What else? What else people been lying about? If blacks been lying about, that means whites and everybody else, even gays been lying. But women been lied to, and you got the men, but nobody question about it. They either question why there's so much racism going on. Why you got to ask yourself, why is there so much racism is going on? Why is that? Why is that? Why is that, man? You gotta ask yourself. Look, it doesn't matter who get a better judgment or not. Nobody shouldn't get away with murder for anything. They should have prosecuted George Zimmerman, and I blame that the Mexican mafia and the Black Guerrilla family. They the ones kept the war going. I said, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm talking about? You buy into this, but yeah, that tell me right there. Nobody wants to be equal with shit. They always talking about they equal. We all human, and I believe that in a certain degree in my heart. But there's some folks gonna say we ain't equal. I'm telling you, there's some folks don't want that, and the reason why they don't want that because they know we all the same, but they play dumb. But it's funny that nobody, people get away with anything. Nobody shouldn't get away with money, and they always play whose pain is more matter than anyone. Look, I feel so sorry for over there in St. Louis and Ferguson, and I feel so sorry for over there in France. I feel sorry for over there Armenian country, whatever. It doesn't even matter. But stop playing race. All of this. They piss me off when they do that. And they know damn well that scientific racism is a bunch of lie. But they buy into that. They telling you, oh, this is how the other race got it. God made every other race. Fuck that scientific racism bullshit. It's all bullshit. What do they say about white person? They come from the caves. What do they say about black? Oh, they come from the jungle. You hear that all the time. You hear that all the time. And they bought the lie. They've admitted that people did not come from no damn come from no modern apes. Man, come on. You really believe that shit when people say to you, let's show a ape skull and let's show a human skull. You know damn well it don't match. Who make up this lie? But you know what? I already know who do this. It's the so-called power people that's sitting up there buying this. Look at this. Look at this. You really believe what they're saying? And you know that's not don't match. You know that don't match. And let's put a human skull. I mean, I don't buy none of the stuff they say until one of them need to start telling the truth. Look, but they ain't gonna do it. A lot of them cowards. Look at this skull. Yeah, look at this skull. It's the same shape of skull in any other race of people. But they try to all different shapes of the skull and divide it by that. I mean, come on. It goes back to the Neanderthals and the Homo sapiens. That explains a lot why whites and blacks don't get along. And it always bothers me. I said, where how this whites and blacks got started? It started from 200 years ago, since the humanity started beginning of race of people from the tree of life, the tree of knowledge. It started back over there in Africa, all the way to Asia, to Europe, to South America, to North America. So that explains a lot how people got here, truthfully speaking. But people reveal all this stuff, all these other races. There were 5 different races, and they broke them amount of different 5 each of them. Divide each race and divide it by all of these races, and make them races turn against and fight one another. And it did, and frankly, it did a good job. I gotta give it to the media and all the other. Let's give a round of applause, shall we? They did a good job getting every whites and blacks off of that bullshit since the goddamn 70s and 60s and 1600s and 1700s. Somebody need to start telling the goddamn truth. Be a man, be a woman. If you about loving God and loving truth, tell the truth. Quit lying. You keep buying into this. This is why that crime's going up and people go crazy. Somebody knocking the door and they was passing out Bibles and stuff like that. I mean, for years, look at this. People been saying that the Neanderthals had sex with Homo sapiens. People said that, but they will never admit it. You look at white people in certain shades they got. You know all of them have no blonde hair and blue eyes. Come on. Some come from different shades. When the people, these scientific forensic people, these two bullshit forensic people, when they gonna start telling the truth? When? When they gonna do it? Listen to this. The ancient skull was found in the cave in the north of Israel, has gated the light on the undergrade on the modern humans out Africa, and the drawing of the humanity and the colonization of the world from the most of the primitive allotment that is may be enough for a single protocol, but is the brain case for has been defense of much more like much more like in the location where the first and a lot probably history tries and result in the modern human having sex with the heavy borrow the Neanderthal cousins. It discovered in the cave in the western continent in the parts of the skull is belongs to the and to the a visuals and partly a woman who was lived there and died in the region about 55 years ago and placed in the modern humans there and 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 then for the first time ever, the Homo sapiens walked out of Africa at least 1600 years ago. But it's the harsh of the cellmate in parts of the Europe at the time is the humbled. There is a spread across much of the continent until about 45 years ago. The skull is revealed that the modern humans are reaching in the invert where is the where the population may have given to the rise for those who later the colonized Europeans. I mean, colonized Europe, which is the frozen part of it as a debatable as a bait as a bait as the 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 tyranny becomes more than a humble. Israel inheritable as the Tel Aviv University says that the skull through missing in the face and in the jaw was as an elaborate or found and the distribute of modern and as a and imaginable the brain case and to rid of it and renovate the human the renovate the Europeans and the Caribbean may go, but remain to be some African features too. And basically, what they're saying that Caucasian has some black African ancestors. I knew this. It's amazing. This is the first of the species, and we have connected connected the Africa to Europe. As another me that told that the engardiment and the validation and spot that the skull on a rocky shelf in the side of the chambers of the impediment as the magnet cave that was discovered by a chance when a bulldozer broken through the roof was while it's cutting a sort of a ridge for a near past village. Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. Near past village. When the signs okay near past village. Okay, damn it. I try to skip the parts, but I ain't skip the part. It's just parts that I'm trying to read. Okay, let's get back to this. Um, I mean, everybody is aware of what this stuff is going on, but like I said earlier, you know, nobody wants to talk about this. It's been going on for years ago. When the science is evaluated as the through the holes it tore into the ceiling, they have found the cave is open more than in 20 acres deep and 50 acres wide and 100 acres long. The original enemy to the cave has a climate about 100 years ago and selling off to the in the continent. We don't believe in our eyes, and we actually is realization is as a biological probable history reliable and cave and the that is has been it inhabits for a for a very long time because in the inter range interrange has a collapse so long ago. It has been freezing in the time that no one has been inside for 100 years ago says it'll be so there is a huge centric cave and there's several beautiful size chamber in one of the side of the chamber that the skull was lying there on the top of a rocky shelter. It was there waiting for us, and we have to pick it up. And he added, and the rather as the site has been evaluated as a impressive and hobby of the modern humans and the absolute lap bones, but is the part of the skull is the oldest of the modern is the oldest of the skulls of remain discovery from the caves, and how it becomes being the vertebrae on a shelter in a side of the chamber on the cave is a mystery. It may has come to the rest there, and after being washing by and by washing in by the a flood of water, or perhaps it was a place where is recently by the another individual living in the cave. Is written in it's written in the Journey in Nature, and the scientist explains that how the data in the skull to 5,500 years ago revealed that the modern humans arrived, and the reasons when it was already well that the population with the Neanderthals, and the skull of the skeleton of the skeleton of the Neanderthals from the same time has been discovered from the Medvedev cave of 24 miles and 40 km to the eastern of Medvedev and Medvedev cave, and from the Kedbi cave to 30 miles to the south. The modern human that the modern humans and the Neanderthals are sharing the land around Medvedev Cave of 55, I mean 50 years, 50 years, 50,000 to 60,000 years ago, means that the rolling of the hill, what of what of what I mean, a rolling in the hill of what is now is a government and provided the Romans and back up to the spelling of interbred that is left non-Africans with a development of the Neanderthal DNA. And the graphic studies and declared that the humans and the Neanderthals was mixing in the same in 50 to 1600 years old period, most probably into the Western Asia. And the benefit is the best of the combination for for the interbred of the modern human with the Neanderthals, and there is a really no other comparison, and head of it says that the people at the engagement are the only population that we know of that is sharing the same geographic and region for a very long period of time, and they have it without DNA from the skull. It is impossible to we know if the Rodman cave was individual or as their cells as a product of much as the in the carpet love and Christmas Stinger as Christmas Stinger of the human head of the human head of the human region at the Natural History Museum said that the regions were evaluated as the contrain from the interbred main interbreed breed that happens 50 million 50 a million years through the farther north than the modern day Israel was impossible. It's about 5,500 years ago, and that is the first modern humans from West Asia, which is the well in the data to the in legitimate to time or frame of interbred, but between early and modern humans and the Neanderthals. He said, in Meadow and represent some of the latter the first and migrate into the hypermethality out of Africa even about 1600 years ago, a population wide of descendants and ultimate spread right across Asia and also into Europe. Its discover or rise hope on a more of a completely and species from this and critical region in the time period and adamant. Man, I've been saying this years ago. I've been saying this then, I've been saying this now. Everybody know who we are, but we don't know who we are. People need to look all this stuff up because there's a real reason why there's so much racism. Because the first interbred human out of modern human, as they said, the Homo sapiens, and then they become the Neanderthals. Because Neanderthals were dark Caucasian at that time, and they out the combing of the skin, and their skin start to capitate, their skin start to pelletate the melanin. So they lost their melon. And I believe it did happen. And I'm going to put a video behind that that explains why Caucasian tinted their skin in most of the part. I mean, it baffles me when people say they hate a group of race, but you want to be like. And not just only they do this, but my folks do the same thing. If they stand in the sun so long, their skin starts become ashen out to the skin. It went from a dark person to a white person from a Bible, it does make sense. It went from all the way to happen to South Africa to all the way to Southwest French. It happened all the way to East Western Asia. So it happened all the way to down there for 500 years, 5,500 years ago, 45 years ago, 35 years ago, 60,000 years ago, or whatever with the time period. We'll never know. But what's my point? I'm trying to bring this, man. They talking about but for years people have been saying Armenians. I've been read this and stated that this is what white genocide is about. But what about the African genocide? For years we've been hearing about Africans was being genocide out of Africa over there in the black community. And for years about this controversy, trying to stop black women, stop having pregnancies of babies. For years, they tried to put black men in concentration camps, imprisonment. For years, been saying that. Even Malcolm and Martin Luther King and all the rest of them dressed this years ago. But when we died, I see why. They can't live without us, just like we couldn't live with them. But why they just want to admit that for some odd reason? And I already know what the N word is. Basically, they trying to say we're a dead race. Basically, in other words, they want to kill us. Basically saying that it got something to do with form of black magic. It's an ancient ritual of Egypt. We could rise from the fucking dead. So that explains about voodoo is a black magic. So whites know what that word was about, especially the word nigger or nigga, even though we use it endearment. And cracker, I never call a white person cracker in my life. Cracker means we're trying to say that a white person never been enslaved. Bullshit, they were. Because if that was the case, that our ancestors enslaved us, their people our ancestors slaved us. Our own people slaved us. So that explains why between African and Black Americans, and that explains why European and white Americans they were slaving each other. And you got white Americans and Black Americans and European American and African Americans part slaving each other. Every other race, even Asians, went through this. Whites and blacks both slave other races, slave their own people. That's what I'm trying to say. The word Slavic, I don't want to hear about slavery because slavery is real slaves come from the slave in the mind. Slavery is just wrong, plain and simple. I was watching a story and they were showing these farmers being being killed and slaughtered out of Africa by these white Africans, but nobody says anything. But it happened a couple of years in the 60s about over there in South Africa. There were Africans being slaved over there. No other race should not to be attacked. White people don't need to be attacking blacks, and nobody and they don't have to attack their own. And blacks don't need to be attacking other people, and we don't have to attack them. And they ain't, and we ain't got to attack anybody. As long as they don't attack us, we don't attack them. We got to keep peace. White and black got to keep peace. That been going on for 600,000 years ago. Ain't no telling where this stuff got started. But see, I blame these people. It's these government economies people. It's governmentization. It's these damn Illuminati, Luminaries. It's them folks, man. They're the ones getting blacks and whites to fight for each other. But we so damn dumb, and they is too, and we don't see it. They just go along with the program. But hey, I can't get mad because they're trying to find ways to survive. But still, it's a way to survive. It's a way to gotta make a live. You gotta live. I'm ready for these motherfuckers. It to me is sad because there's unsolved murders in the black community about Emmett Till that whistled at a white woman. But they didn't. But it was on black people was help out the murder right along with white folks. And I know some black people gonna be shocked. There are black people out there right now even hurt their own people, just like whites hurt their own people. It goes both ways. And some black people get white people to hurt them, and whites trying to hurt the black folk. It goes both ways. Whites and blacks are and they party with each other, trying to get us to fight and part of debatable at each other. But you ever ask yourself sometimes, whose pain is more important? Pain is more important towards anyone. So shout out to George Clooney's wife for doing that. I'm not mad at that. I'm just mad at the fact that when we gonna get some justice when it comes to us, and that's on our fault because we don't support the justice. We're basically saying and all that. One thing about whites and Asians and everybody else, they support the criminal system. They support it. I'm not saying we don't support it. And this whole stop snitching campaign, everybody's pay tribute to that, but all it's going to do is destroy the communities. So pain is more important towards any other place is more important. Shout out to George Clooney's wife. She did her thing to follow a case of Armenian. Yeah, I hear about that is because Kim Kardashian's Armenian. Why you think they come at Kim Kardashian so much? Because they knew that she had sex with Kanye West. Come on, having sex with a black man for years. Armenian got some African blood ancestors somewhere. And for years, blacks have European ancestors. Let's be for real. You got blacks and whites got some Asian ancestors in them, and Asians got some blacks and whites ancestors there. They all the same. But the thing is, we let this scientific racism tearing apart from each other. That's why I never buy this scientific racism belief. Because first of all, it's all bullshit. It's all propaganda man since day one, and everybody buy into this stuff. Who come up with this stuff? Who come up with this? It's the so-called elitist people. It says right here, saying that basically it's okay. Here it is. Its veracity of race consciousness is the publishment has been as a condiment of the scientific racism for a publishment as articles on the controversy interpain of racism, criticized the studies and claimed to the postment of a connection between, for example, race intelligence, and argues that this promotes the idea of superiority, inferiority of human race. We need to destroy this once and for all because this is the problem. And we need to get to the bottom of it once and for all. Other than we're going to all be vanished if we don't come by all. All right? All right. It's your boy Domination. This is Bad for the Basic. Chuck the Deuces. How we do text, baby. Until next time. All right? All right. Peace and out.